And suddenly it was just this beautiful connection of love. And when you can see your partner through the eyes of love, that is a game changer. And my little shameless plug is September 18th and 19th in the Seattle area. We will be doing a couples workshop. It's 1 night and 2 days. It will involve some plant medicine. Each couple will get their own hotel room, and we'll be gathering before and afterwards. So it's going to be something really unique. I'm super excited about it. Would love anybody that would be interested. Most people are reacting when we're in survival mode. And so you're like playing out the same patterns. And I have clients that are like sending me information about Instagram things. They're a narcissist, they're this. Then you become a victim. And they're like, okay, well, I have this issue that is here. And I said, well, I'm going to maybe disappoint you because that's not going to be the part of the retreat that we're going to focus on. We're going to actually help you dissolve what's blocking you from connecting with your partner.
And very smart, Rochelle Lane, here with Lions Unicorns Live, Conscious Relationships, and we're taking your questions and your comments. And if you have any comments about relationships or anything else for that matter, bring them to us. And you had a topic you wanted to talk about today, Rochelle. What was that again?
Becoming the architect of your relationship instead of a victim.
Wow. What? How do you do that?
Well, it's always right what we're going through personally, or also what our clients are talking about, where people are at. And then, you put all those great things in, and Claude comes up with some stuff for you too.
Oh. Claude is our friend.
Claude is definitely our friend, I tell you.
Although I'm discovering something about Claude. You got to keep it brief or it starts getting dumb.
I just like it when it tries to take over what I'm trying to give it, and then it gives me its suggestions. I'm like, I don't think I asked for that. Just stick to what I'm asking. Sometimes it takes over a bit, so it's kind of like, you got to be a little mindful of that. Yeah, but most people are reacting, Mark, and when we're in survival mode, and so you're like playing out the same patterns. And I have clients that are like, sending me information about, see, this is what she's doing. See, like
right.
Instagram things. They're a narcissist. They're this,
right.
Describing it, and then you become a victim, and there's nothing you can do about it when you're a victim.
Right.
So that's why I think this discussion is good.
Once you've labeled your partner with an Axis 2 diagnosis, it's pretty much over at that point.
Yeah. Right.
So it's amazing how people are an expert on the other person's problems. So let me ask you this though, because you're the environment you see couples in is very different than mine. When you started seeing couples in the arena of plant medicine, what was the first thing that surprised you as you started to work with them?
How fast that once their heart was open, they would just reconnect as if the day they met.
Wow.
All the problems that they wanted to discuss with me, like the challenges that had been building up, the issues in their marriage and the relationship, maybe family things, the division of how one person did chores and the other person didn't, they just disappeared.
Uh-huh.
And it was literally within minutes. People would instantly drop all the issues that they had, and suddenly it was just this beautiful connection of love.
Wow.
And when you can see your partner through the eyes of love, that is a game changer. It doesn't mean that necessarily there's no more problems, but the way you interact and accept of your partner is going to be much different than when you kind of look at them as a villain or the enemy.
Now, I'm wondering if that opening could be the beginning of some real deep work that happens, after the ceremony.
Absolutely. It is the beginning of the deep work, Mark, because they start to see that they've been running a program. They start
Oh,
to see that they haven't been actually looking at the truth of the person in front of them, but it's an idea, like a pattern that they've been playing in their head. And that's how they've been reacting and responding from, not this, beautiful being that I decided to be with, right? Or this child. Like I see a lot of people, you finally connect with that inner child and you see that other person as a child, as you
uh-huh.
talk about with the lion and unicorn, right? These are things we've had since the first 5 years of our life. And one person is in fear and the other person is chasing, and those aren't who they really are, but it's this like little beautiful child that's locked away, right, that
Uh-huh.
you can start to see, and it really helps you forgive yourself and your partner. And I think it's the beginning of all kinds of healing, not just in relationship to your partner, but in relationship to everyone and
Uh-huh.
everything.
Okay. So do you think that gives them more motivation to go a little deeper into what goes on emotionally?
Completely. Absolutely.
Okay. Very interesting.
So, yeah. So, what is the moment that you think, like the actual moment when someone goes from reacting to choosing? What does that look like?
Well, for me, I just take them on the journey of understanding how things work inside of them. And the minute they see how the pattern is being replicated over and over again, they, my feeling is they get pretty tired of that and they want something better.
Yeah.
And so, if you're the little girl who was rejected and you're the little boy who was threatened and you suddenly are confronted with that, at some level, I think people just kind of cry out and say, "No, no more of this. There's got to be a
Yes.
different path."
Yeah.
But it's my experience is it's very hard to get people to go deeper, and I'm feeling like interacting with you and the work you do, that drops that barrier pretty fast.
Yeah. Because the default mode network, which we talk about all the
Right,
time, right? As soon as you can drop, and the ego is what this whole channel is about, is like
right,
seeing these thoughts, seeing these ideas that we have about our feelings and emotion, and just seeing them for what they are. They are not us,
right.
and they're not the truth. So if you can start to look at those thoughts and those feelings that you've had about your partner and just see that they're just unconscious, blah, blah, blah,
Right, right.
you will really start to get to the core of your relationship. And that will change a shift in everything.
So the problem that I encounter working with couples a lot is that the pattern that's going on is very apparent right up front. And so I keep reflecting the pattern back to them and say, well, you're doing this and you can see where this is and what this is happening and how this, where this comes from. It comes, and your mother did this and your father did that. And
Yeah.
it's like, I may as well be talking to a wall. It's just all bouncing off. They can't take anything in. And, I'd keep inviting them, okay, I'm seeing the pattern again. Are you interested in what the pattern is? And they're like, well, okay, yeah, go ahead. And trying to get past that. And I wouldn't even say it's resistance. It's just deep unconsciousness.
Yes.
They can't hear anything. They can't see anything. They're not listening to the words that you're saying.
Yes.
And getting through that barrier. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a psychological defense. It's just people are so stultified and distracted, and it breeds this kind of ignorance and
Yes.
and and these are smart people, but you just,
Yeah.
it's to light that fire is just such a challenge.
Yeah. So everything you mentioned is us not being present,
Yes,
not being in the
exactly.
present moment.
That's
That's all
exactly
this
right.
is.
Yes.
It's about the past of what my partner did. In the future, I know they're going to repeat the same thing, and
Uh-huh.
you are not in the present moment. And when you're not in the present moment, you are not. You're not you. You're running a program, and
That's so
so
smart. Yes.
in plant medicine, you can't be but present. That's
Right.
all that's all that it does is so it
Uh-huh.
drops it drops that ego, drops the noise down. And all you do is now your heart starts to open is you have this ever present moment of now, 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 and now. And you can actually reach the true self, that deeper part of us, right? That Eckhart Tolle, that a spirit, that all these amazing teachers have talked about this. It's just, it's being. There's nothing to do. There's nothing. You're just in this state. And now, when someone like yourself is talking to them, they can actually hear you, Mark. They
Yeah.
actually are like, oh, I get it, because their defenses aren't running the show.
Right.
They're
Right.
not thinking about something that just happened. They're literally just right there. And that's why, I
Sure.
mean, therapists have been using plant medicine for 40, 50 years underground. It's nothing new. The Shulgins and all these amazing organizations that have not quite been federally approved, but yeah, they've been running underground programs for years for that very reason. When people get to the point where you just can't get through them, and they just need a little extra help.
Uh-huh. So if you're listening to this and you have a comment or question, put them up. They'll come up on my screen here, and I'll put them up in front of us, and we'll discuss it. This whole subject of conscious relationships, the thought occurred to me listening to you that becoming the architect of your relationship is something that happens automatically when you stop being unconscious.
Yes.
You don't have to try to be the architect. It's not
Yes.
something you learn. It's innate. You already know,
Yes.
but it's
So, and
being stifled.
exactly. And what if only one person is doing the work? Is it still going to affect the change of relationship, Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear that
Because
all the
that's
time.
always the
Well,
question.
we both have to do it in order for this to work. No, that's not true. The relationship is a system, and if you change any part of the system, the entire system
Yep.
changes.
Oh, say that again. That was so good. I want everyone to hear that, Mark. No,
So,
really, again.
so a relationship is a system, and if you change, which means it's a series of interdependencies. So if you
Yes,
change any part of the system, the entire system changes.
exactly.
And so basically what's happening in a relationship is there's this constant interplay of an invitation to play a game.
Mm.
And if you're conscious and you're aware and you're the only one and you don't accept the invitation, it immediately freaks out the other person and they have to behave in a different way.
Yes, exactly. They can't react the same way because
No, because
you've just switched the script.
that's right. That's exactly what happens. Yeah. And so, I tell people this all the time, they're playing the role of the pursuer in the relationship. Well, you can completely flip the script in a nanosecond by stop pursuing.
Yeah.
you know and so everything people do unconsciously to try to fix a problem is usually making the problem worse.
Okay, Mark. How do we get that through? That I'm okay right here, right now.
Uh-huh.
That people come to me and they want to always fix a problem. This
well
is what needs to be fixed.
well let me show you this. So here's the lion and unicorn model. Two people, two circles. The one on the right I call the lion, the one on the left is called the unicorn. Now, we all have emotional pain. I'm going to get to the point here in just a second.
Mhm.
We all have emotional pain. So a lion's emotional pain is a feeling of rejection, like nobody cares or they're not good enough. The unicorn's emotional pain is fear or anxiety. And, unicorns don't like conflict, so they avoid. That's the thing they do. And lions, when they feel rejected, they get angry. Okay, so that's what we're doing to try to solve the problem.
Uh-oh.
What did I do here? Where did you go?
I double came up. I guess you want two of me. One's not enough, Mark. Oh, that's awesome. Double the trouble. Uh-oh. I lost your volume. I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you.
When I changed the scene,
There we
it
go.
muted me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me straighten this out a little bit. Sorry, folks. If you have a
Hey, this
question
is
or a
what you get when you
comment,
get live. This is live. This is the best thing. Back
so
me out. I feel like I'm too close. Mark, back me out. The camera,
let
please.
me do that. Okay. Wait a second. I'll do that in a second here.
Thanks.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you.
Sorry about that, everybody.
No. So you were saying, so finish the lion and the unicorn, how they react, and then.
So the way that they are trying to fix the problems, the lions become more aggressive and the unicorns become more avoidant. So the more you are avoidant or aggressive, the worse the problem becomes.
Yes.
And so what we're trying to do to fix the problem invariably makes the problem worse.
Exactly.
And that's what we're trying
And
to get to.
and that's why we get stuck. It's because we're unconscious.
Yes.
The pattern of the lion and the unicorn that you go over, it's not to say, not to justify, oh, even though I know I'm a lion, it
Uh-huh.
doesn't justify me trying to get connection from my partner because that's what I learned and what I known. It's actually asking for me to get that for myself. It's actually
Right.
asking me to go in and give it to myself and stop trying to get it outside, with my partner. And I like how when you describe that, it's just a chart to show you so you understand why you're going, what it looks like when you go unconscious and
Right.
how you can shift that. So basically, it's like just do the opposite.
Well, you don't need to do the opposite. You just need to wake up.
Oh, yeah.
People need to learn to be authentic and genuine. And the only way you can do that is to, handle your business. And if you don't handle your business, the marriage becomes the theater for your business or the relationship. And,
Wow.
it's a drama starring you.
Yeah. You're the main character, sure. Writing the scripts,
Yeah.
giving your spouse all the things I want to say. That's so true. So
Yeah.
true.
And we have a real problem in this culture. And the problem is people are walking away from relationships.
Yeah.
And then they're just completely walking away because we built in so many disincentives that, the pain of being in a relationship and the consequences are too great. Nobody wants to take the risk.
Yeah.
So it really falls on the individual people to make themselves safe and approachable. Otherwise, you're going to be alone, you know?
Well, and the most important thing that you are always saying is that the success of the relationship, or as we start to move through it and we become more present in the relationship, that will enhance our whole life. Like that's the whole purpose of why we're on this planet, is to become more conscious, is to become more present in our life. And so if
Uh-huh.
we can do that in our relationship, that will shift everything. I mean, the relationship is the hardest part. And I love I love that I won't, let me see. How do I want to say this? I have had clients that will say, every other area of my life, I'm great. I'm successful in my business. I love
Right.
my kids. I have great friends. I love my hobbies, but just this, my wife, or just this person, and it just cracks me up because I'm like, because you don't have to see them every day, and they don't know who you really are.
Well, and the other thing that people don't understand is that if you have unfinished emotional business from your childhood, usually the only place it shows up is in your relationship.
There you
So
go.
so it's easy to go have drinks with the boys or have wine with the girls or whatever.
Yes.
That's easy. But going home, you go home. There's a part of you that's
Mm,
going home, and then everything emerges into that relationship that you have unfinished and you haven't worked on and you haven't looked at. And it's going to be a problem. We have a comment here. Kat says, yeah, but waking up isn't a choice for most people. It just happens as a result of something majorly painful happening. And unfortunately, that is true. It seems like unbearable pain is the only thing that causes people to want to work on themselves. But I must say, that's why Mastering Thought channel is here, so you don't have to go through that. We will help you wake up with without pain.
yes.
The practice of moment mindfulness, and I think Rochelle can attest to this, is extremely simple, very quick,
Yes.
and it's like reading the book on you very rapidly and having everything change.
It's true. It's so true. And we can also wake up in a state of just being sick and tired or being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, humanity, usually suffering is the way that we purify ourselves. That's why the ancient talked about the phoenix
Right.
dropping into the fire. And, it was a beautiful bird and was amazing, but it knew that it needed to purify or cleanse itself. So, suffering is unfortunately one of the ways that a lot of humanity finally does wake up, but it is not the only way, for sure.
So it's very interesting what you're saying, because it reminds me of the scripture in Romans where Paul says, unless a corn of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it won't bring forth new life. And
Yes.
Eckhart Tolle is famous for saying that awakening comes after a dark night of the soul, and you don't want to be in
Yes.
a dark night of the soul. Trust me, that's not a fun place to be. It feels like God hates you and he's going to crush you and take everything from you if you don't get your act together. But we can help make that easier. Contact
Yes.
us, and both Rochelle and I will help you through the process of awakening before you destroy everything in your life in order to accomplish that. So
And if you do, we'll be here afterwards too. And guess
that,
what? You'll still come up the other side.
that's
You'll
right.
still you'll still be okay. It's
So
like so
please,
nothing happened yesterday is like happening to you now. And I think that's what couples a lot of the time is like, because of the memory, it's like the pain is really not happening right now. It's just
right.
pain from the past. And the only thing that's keeping
That's
it
right.
alive is that ego. It's that constant chatter that wants to just keep talking about it and bringing it forward. And that's why, if we can get to the point where we can start to practice moment mindfulness, practice presence, being here now,
Right.
then as those things start to come up, you're literally going to feel the dissonance in them, and you're not going to want to have anything to do with them. You're going to be like, why would I want to do that? So
Yeah. Please put your
I
comments or
enjoy it.
questions up so we can talk about it. Kat, did we address that? If you have more to say on that, bring it up. But the purpose of a relationship, one of the purposes, clearly in my experience, is to make you conscious and not happy. Because unconscious people generally don't have happy relationships.
True.
And we go from one relationship to another expecting
Yeah.
happiness, and we carry the baggage that made us unhappy with us as
Yeah.
we go, and the pattern just keeps repeating.
Yeah.
So if you believe in some metaphysical, certity in life, running away from relationships is exactly the opposite thing you need to do. You need to stay put. People ask me all the time, Rochelle, maybe they ask you, should I stay or should I leave? And my answer is, have you learned what you're supposed to learn?
Yeah.
Once you're convinced you've learned what you're supposed to learn, now we can talk about that question.
So how would you then? So I'm going to say some people are like, "Yeah, I've learned enough. I'm ready to go," and I don't think they are.
No.
So what? Then how would you coach someone in recognizing if they've learned their lesson?
Well, if they have awakened, they don't believe they're the voice in their head, they're not acting out the story that's being told to them inside, and they know where their unfinished business comes from and they're actively taking care of it. Once they've reached that plateau, then they can stand back and look at the relationship and ask themselves, should I stay or should I go?
Yeah.
And that actually becomes a different discussion at that point than it is when you start the journey, because your motivations are completely different.
Yes. Yes. You're not trying to escape your partner and look
That's
what they're
right.
doing to me. And
That's
this
right.
is so painful and putting a label on them. You're
Right.
like, oh, I am actually fulfilled now in myself. And now it's like, is this relationship a part of, is it a match for who I am now? Is it a match
Right.
for my fulfillment? That's great. So like one of the things, we keep mentioning is that it's not about trying to fix the relationship, and it's really about us going in. And then I have in my ceremonies individually, but we have a ceremony coming up in September. And that's one of the biggest things that I think I've had a couple of discussions with some potential clients that want to join us. And they're like, okay, well, I have this issue that is here. And I said, well, I'm going to maybe disappoint you because that's not going to be the part of the retreat that we're going to focus on. We're going to actually help you dissolve what's blocking you from connecting with your partner. And that's like the difference I feel than working on behavior and actually
Right.
transforming the pattern, which is
Right.
what you're talking about, which is like getting rid of it, not trying to make it better, not trying to iron it out, but actually just dissolving it, like
Well,
letting it go.
see, what you're saying is very smart, because when you're unconscious and you're acting out your defenses with the other
Yes.
person and you're trying to articulate what the problem is, you're wrong. You're not accurate. Your perception of what's going on is not correct. If you work on yourself and you wake up and you realize what your unconscious patterns are and how they're being, injected into the relationship, you will suddenly realize the problem you thought you had is not actually the problem.
Yes. Exactly. That's exactly what I see. It's
Yeah.
absolutely true. Because you take off those distraction goggles, you take off all the, what did they say? Remove the straw out of your own eye
Right.
before looking at another person. And once you remove it out, oh, wow, I see things a lot differently.
Exactly. Exactly. Because life is perfect unless you think about it. And so thinking is the root of the problem. And if you take the same thinking from, relationship number one to relationship number two, you're going to get the same outcome.
Yeah.
And so, took me a long time to learn that. It was very painful.
Yeah. But what a great lesson. And now to be able to help others with it. That's what's the beautiful part about your work and about what we're doing here is we can help people before they go through that, or even if they're in it. It's okay. It's all still part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
But there is help and there is support in doing things in a much more peaceful and loving way. And you don't have to go through the battling of beating each other up in therapy for 20 years. You can come
And I,
see
and I,
Mark and do sessions and figure it out.
I think Also, that you need to understand that your guides have been wounded and scarred and bloodied, and that experience and having gone through the self-discovery and the crucible that requires gives a richness and a depth to the help that you can get from people who know better and who can help you in a direct and compassionate way.
Yes.
But the help doesn't come from advice giving or reliving all the bad things that ever happened. No. That's not what this is about. Working through, So here you are. You're gonna unconsciously work through all your unconscious material and come out the other end still unconscious. No, that's
But you have more modalities. You have more
right.
things to use and more names, like we talked about a
Right.
couple things ago. Everyone is so educated with all the names and the disorders, but they're all still suffering. So what is that really helping with? Like, come on. Yeah. I absolutely agree, Mark. Well, does anybody have any questions? We'd love to interact with you. We love to answer questions. And even if it's just a comment or something that you want to share about your current relationship, or we'd love to interact. Seems a little quiet today.
We've got people in the audience. Take advantage of this. This is an opportunity. What's interesting is, I have a pedigree in marriage and family therapy. I've been at it for a long, long time. But the thing I appreciate about working with you, Rochelle, is you instinctively know what the principles are.
Oh.
I don't ever have to stop and explain anything to you, because as soon as it leaves my mouth, you understand exactly what I'm talking about, because you've seen it out there in the real world and you understand how things work.
It's true.
So Kat says, how do you guide and coach people who are just looking for spiritual bypass? Well, they can't be guided or coached. Meaning not wanting to do deep work. Yeah, you just do the best you can, and they'll eventually just get tired of it and drift off, I think, is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
you can bypass for a little bit. It sounds really good. I think, the spiritual talk sometimes of whatever, people want to say or create, but at some point it has to be practical and you have to be able to apply it. And so eventually you'll be right back in the same space again. You cannot escape yourself. Doesn't work.
Yeah, that's an excellent question, though. How do you guide and coach people? Kat, I think you have somebody in mind when you ask that question. I'm just guessing. Don't know. So it reminds me.
We just take him in a ceremony and we sit him down for a weekend and can work with them that way too. Sometimes that works.
So the key to this whole thing is to master the voice in your head, because all of this rationalization and all these other behaviors are being prompted by an internal dialogue that we've been carrying with us all our lives. Yes. And we call it self-talk, but it's not the self that's talking. There is no self actually that's talking. And but when we distinguish between self-talk and negative thoughts, then what we're doing is we're parsing the same thing and avoiding the opportunity to look deeper at ourselves, because the source of the self-talk is it's the same fountain that everything comes from.
No matter what it's saying, it's still part of the same problem.
It's interesting, this comment from Kat. I see it regularly around me, folks wanting a short list on a how-to. Honestly, I will spend an hour explaining to somebody how to break free of the voice in their head. And at the end of the hour, they'll literally look at me and say, well, is there anything else I can do? That's just, well, no, I just told you were sound asleep and how to wake up. But if you want to stay asleep and do something else, that's up to you. Joined super late, just wanted to add that since doing some deep reflecting and work within, I realized how shifty an individual I was. And now I'm not sure how to proceed with past broken relationships. Well, I'm not sure I understand if the relationships are broken, how do you proceed? Exactly what does that mean? So are you wanting to heal past broken relationships?
Okay.
You can certainly do that by going and taking responsibility. That's a big first step.
Yeah, are they still in the relationship or is it already done?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, as somebody who does relationship counseling all day long, if there's a way to salvage a relationship, I'm in.
Me too.
I have never in 30 years told a couple you need to get a divorce.
Wow.
I just don't. No, I think you need to take responsibility and learn what you're supposed to learn. And I just don't believe in the easy way out. Follow up Q45. That's an excellent point. I just want to make sure we cover it properly. What's your response to that, Rochelle?
Which question?
The one about broken relationships, healing broken relationships. Oh, here we go. Do I mend those relationships, reach out to those individuals? We don't talk or see each other as much. I'm particularly referring to friends I've known for years. What's your reaction to that, Rochelle? I have no friends, so maybe you can help.
Stop. It's not true. I feel like so I teach almost regularly to every client, to every couple, every person I work with, my daughter, the Ho'oponopono prayer, which means to make right. It's an ancient Hawaiian prayer, and it means to make right with yourself first, then to make right with others. And it's basically, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, or I love you, thank you. And that is, to me, one of the simplest and yet one of the most sacred things you can do to heal anything. And it really is forgiving yourself. Q45, it's going through and healing those parts in you where you thought that you did wrong, the areas that you could be sorry for, any areas where you didn't treat yourself with respect, where you allowed for certain behavior that we'd never allow for. And then you basically thank them for this beautiful lesson. As Mark is saying, this is all for our evolution. This is all for our ascension and our waking up. So whatever happened, the relationship is still beautiful. And then I love you. Love yourself first and foremost, and then send love to the other person. Do you need to call and talk to them? I don't necessarily know. I think that's a case-by-case basis. Depends on how you feel about it. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Mark?
I have a strategy for that, and this is what I would suggest. And I want to go back to the original comment. Do I mend the relationship? So this is what I would say, and I say this often to people, is have an intention to do the right thing. Just put that intention out there. Don't force it. Don't struggle with it. But make yourself available if the opportunity should present itself to heal the relationship. What will happen if it's supposed to happen, there will be an opening and you will be able to step through it very naturally and comfortably and do that. The other thing is to check your motives. If you want to heal the relationship so you don't feel guilty, that's not the right motive. So this, don't force it. Just kind of put it on the altar and say, okay, I'm putting this on the altar. If I'm supposed to do this, then show me the opening and then let it go and see what happens.
Love that. Love that.
Okay, we're getting a little short on time. We got about another 5 minutes or so. If you've got a question or a comment, in the meantime, if you want any individual coaching, our information will be available down below. And let me make a shameless plug here. No, I can't. I can't. I don't have my act together. I can't, so I can't.
Well, you'll just have to put the link. Well, I'm going to make a shameless plug.
I have a new book out. You can check it out in the description.
Oh, nice. Do you have the cover of the book, Mark?
Well, that's what I was looking for. I can't seem to find it.
Okay.
So,
well, I can tell people, anybody interested in the dynamics of the lion and unicorn, I actually bought that book and on audio and went through it really quickly. It was so good. I would highly recommend it. Like I said, it was really easy to identify myself, but also get really present to when I was in those states of chasing or getting upset. I was really able to stop myself. So I highly recommend that book as well. And yes, I would. Can I get a signed autograph copy, Mark? Where's my copy of the book?
The new book is an ebook. It's called Free of the Mind. And there are links all over the place, all over the channel to get a copy. So it's instant delivery. As soon as you make a purchase, boom, it gets sent to you. I'm getting good feedback on it.
I would love to give you my feedback. I love your writing. You've done an amazing job. And my little shameless plug is September 18th and 19th in the Seattle area. We will be doing a couples workshop. It's 1 night and 2 days. It will involve some plant medicine, so you'll need to reach out to me directly to find out more about that specifics. But each couple will get their own hotel room, and we'll be gathering before and afterwards. So it's going to be something really unique. I'm super excited about it. And I would love anybody that would be interested and can give you some more information on that. So September 18th and 19th.
Also, the channel has another live stream on Thursday evenings at 6:15, Mastering Thought. And we take people through the exercise of moment mindfulness. And you can watch people in real time learning these principles, and you can see their lives change, literally. Yeah. We've had, actually 4 people I can think of, 3 in particular, that have had an awakening experience, and you can see it live. You can see it happening, and you can become part of it. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our live streams, either the couples live stream on Mondays at noon or the Mastering Thought live stream on Thursdays at 6:15. Reach out to me. We'll have a little chat. We'll have a little Zoom chat, and we'll set you up. We'd love to have you on. The live interaction is absolutely fascinating. People are just eating it up. So, we've got a particular individual on Thursday, Simon, who you can watch his progression from week after week, and it's nothing short of a miracle. It's amazing. So,
isn't that such beautiful work, Mark, when you can actually see someone really get it and just think, wow, just one more person now free from suffering and, bondage of their mind. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I get, it's funny. I get comments from people. I saw Simon and he said this and wow. And so it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good work you're doing, Mark. Good work.
All right, everybody. If there's one last comment, throw it in. Otherwise, we're going to, tie a ribbon on this and see you all next time. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a comment. Q45, been there. I believe people come into your life and leave for a purpose. Whether lessons or experience, if you're lucky, we get some lifelong friends in the journey. Absolutely. Thanks you for that comment. Yeah. All right. Anything else, Rochelle?
I think that's it. See you guys next week. Please subscribe and send to your friends and any couples, people that may be in relationships and they are on the path of spiritually awakening or just opening up to this. This would be a great introduction to it. So we'd love to have them and love to have new listeners. Thank you.
We will both be here next week. I will not be using the skateboard. I'm sorry. That won't be available. I'm insufferable. I'm sorry.
All
right.
What are we going to do?
We will see you later. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.